Alright, there's no other way to describe the weather tonight than awful. You hear the rain. Um, we're flying out of Orlando, Florida. Ooh, nice little crescent going on there. I guess that's what it is. Anyway, we're going to be flying to Asheville. So we're going to be flying at about 32,000 feet. Our air time's probably about an hour and a half, and it should be beautiful, like arrival in Asheville. That is really cool. That is looks like a BP gas station. Wow, what detail! Good job, guys. That's good. Anyway, let's get in our plane that's got no power right now. And I'm dropping the battery guard. I'm going to start the APU. Hold down 3 seconds. Let go. Wait for the check the oil light.
I call that karma.
There we go. And hit it again. Let's do some general cleanup on the panel. And I'm going to make that bright. Let's go ahead and turn our IRSs to nav. There it goes. See our APU going up. Something else we need to do. Knock on our APU bleed. Packs are going to stay off just for now, and I'm going to go ahead and knock these down. It's our fuel, our left and right, left and right. I'm not messing with our starting center. And you see there, we've already got. Let's turn off that aviation flashlight. There we go. Let's go and get our power going. All right, we're going to go put it on our anti-collision light, logo, strobe to steady, wing.
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure.
And well, and no, we're not leaving yet. Okay. Let's go and get some window heat going.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
All right, I hear you. We're not going yet. Okay. Alright, our next step right here is I want my lights kind of where I like them. Put some, it's a nighttime flight. Let's get some light there. Alright, flight directors are up. And auto throttle, I'm just leaving in the armed position. And let's go to our IRS. It's the only time you like going to the IRS to see where you are. Okay, so enter IRS. I'm gonna hit init ref. Let's clear that screen. And you see here where you don't have an IRS position. I'm going to go to next page. I'm going to pull the left or the right GPS, because if you look at them, they're the same. So let's drop one, grab one. Let's put it right here. Then you got colors. Okay, next thing you do on your FMS when you're on the Zibo, and by the way, my plane's not missing the seats. Just for the sake of flight sim, I took them out. Okay, it's a lot easier. You do that on the panel over here. You can do that. Okay, let's go right RTE. And we're going to do a flight plan request on the ACARs there.
Okay, so they're just gonna give me all of that, I guess. By all means.
There we go. We're going to load it and activate it and execute. I always double check,
Okay, I'll try to
like you
slide
see right
in.
here
What
where
I
it's
do-
got
what I
a
do best is dribble.
discontinuity because it where it doesn't know our departure yet. Or does it? Okay, so let me see what our departure is. See if I can make that better. Our departure is supposed to be on 9 left, but let's go ahead and get our IFR clearance to be sure that we're going out on that runway. Brian, good evening. We're going to have a good flight. We're in our 737-800 tonight.
Sounds good, Steve. Let's make sure everything's set for our B737800 flight tonight.
Okay, you're in charge of all comms.
All right, Steve, let me know if you need anything specific.
All right, how about getting our IFR clearance?
No, I got baited. That was on
I'll
me.
get our
I should've
IFR
dove
clearance.
at the spot I was gonna hit. I thought he was shooting on me.
Okay.
Sanford Ground, Allegiant 220 requesting our IFR
If
clearance.
Airbnb works a lot.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
The reason I'm doing this is I may need to put the departure info in this spot on our flight plan.
Allegiant 220, cleared to Asheville. Radar vectors worms, then is filed. Climb and maintain 3000. Expect flight level 32010 minutes after departure. Departure on 119.775 squawk 4112. And your departure runway was changed to 27 center.
Okay, you heard that, 27 center. And that being the case, you see where you've got your discontinuity there on your flight plan. We're going to go to departure. We're going to put in 27 center. And let me see if I've got, does it have any other pieces for that? No. Sends our SFB1 departure. We're going to activate that. We still got a discontinuity there. So what we do is hit worms. And ta-da. Now, going into Asheville, we can go one of two ways, and that's 3-5. We could come in on 3-5, or I hope it's 3-5. That's a direct, like we don't have to transition around to another direction. I think 17 or 18 is the other runway. It's just yeah, it's 17, so it's the opposite of 3-5. So let's hope for that. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do here is go to fuel and weight balance and our airside services. Okay, airside, you want to hit next page. You're going to hit load OFP, load flight plan info. We're going to activate that. Okay. If you notice.
Allegiant 3060, Sanford Ground, taxi to gate 85 at your discretion. Have a good day. Taxi at your discretion, Allegiant 3060.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Whoa. So that glitched out. I don't really know what happened there, but it teleported my cursor to like the
Okay.
middle of the field when I clicked on the wall.
And I don't think I have everything set to a real time, so let me see how I have it set now. If I look at my airside services. You see how that's going kind of fast. So yeah, I don't think I have it set to real time, and I do that on purpose. I don't. That's not necessary unless you really want to immerse yourself in the actual experience. But as a rule, I think it's okay to just bump the time up just a little bit.
That's all there is. I put it as far physically as I could.
Right. Go to the checklist. Okay, we did our preliminary, so we've
Ground flight deck
covered the.
fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
And I'm pilot flying.
Oh, dang, it didn't work. Okay.
So yeah, I've already tested lights. Oxygen's fine. By the way, there is something, a little quirky thing. If you test your oxygen, I can't get it to come back off, and it makes a
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross check and all call, thank you.
awful noise. You feel like you're getting a like obscene phone call most of the way. It's like Darth Vader's riding in your pilot monitoring seat. Drives me up the wall. So I stopped checking that. That's not a good reason, I know, but I stopped checking it. Drives me crazy. Okay. Right before start, you heard the flight deck door close. CDU display set, N1 bugs, and MCP is all set and ready for that. Right. Our next step, now that all of that's done, and it looks like we're loaded,
Oh. Yeah, it scared me too, yeah.
100% loaded, fuel. I'm about to get a message from my fuel guy. And I'm pulling up the flight plan, and I'm looking for our reserves. Our reserves are 2.5, 2,500. 2.5. And uplink's ready, and let's load it. Okay. N1 limit. Everything's okay on the N1 limit screen right now. Okay. Next thing I'm going to go to is our flap setting for this flight. Let's see what they've got it set for. Our flap setting, by the way, wow, they've got our flap setting at 5. We'll do it then. Okay. 5. Our
That's fine.
let's load that. Where we get our center of gravity, just so we have the right number in there, is we go to fuel and payload. and we got a CG. See that our takeoff weight CG is 28.3. So we're gonna put a 28.3 here in center of gravity. And we're going to put 151 in our speed. And go ahead and make sure RTO is to the on position. And it says here that we need a 4.5 trim. Right, currently we're on 5 trim. So we're going to bring that down just a little bit. About right there, 4.5. Okay. Right. If you notice over here, earlier it says no V speeds. You've loaded your V speeds, so you're good there. We're now going to get our QNH. Altimeter is 3014. 3014. You see that changing right here, and it's synchronized to change it on my other devices when I do that. So there, 3014. Good to go. All right. My side is weather. By the way, and Brian's side is terrain. Pop this up just a hair. Brian, can you go ahead and get our push and start clearance?
I can't handle that right now, Steve. You'll need to take care of the push and start clearance.
Brian, you're in charge of all comms.
I can't handle that right now, Steve. You'll need to take care of the push and start clearance.
Citation 0 Echo Zulu clearance on request. Stand by.
Brian, from here forward, you're in charge of all comms.
Got it, Steve. I'll handle the comms from here.
Now, please get our push and start clearance.
I'll get our push and start clearance.
Turn the lights up on there.
Allegiant 220 requesting clearance to push and start.
Something.
Allegiant 220, push and start approved. Tail west.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
A little tidbit for you. Right now you see that it says TCAS is off. And usually I don't turn it on this early, but I'll wait till the end of the runway, but I want to show you where it is. TCAS is off. Over here, when we move this to TATX, receive, transmit, receive, TCAS goes off and TFC is active. Okay? Alright. That was, there's your free tidbit. There you go.
Oh, well, I didn't get it. I thought I had it. I'm sliding in.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Oh. A little too much mustard. I thought I
I don't think he's going to fuss at me. I put my taxi lights on. If I put on my landing lights, he really fusses at me.
It was supposed to be like bounce toward the middle.
disconnected and bypassed and inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines. I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Okay, let's go for engine start on 2. Watching for 2-5. Alright, we'll go for engine start on 1. Looking for a 25. Or close.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
I see some weather. And we're monitoring it, by the way. I've got it on my plan here. We should barely miss it unless it starts moving to the west.
Running stressor right now.
That light out. I'm switching both engines to continuous.
Tow is disconnected and bypassed and has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Position lights have been put to strobe. And we're turning on our other lights. We're activating yaw damper because you don't want to steer without a yaw damper in the air. Okay. We're going to put our packs to auto. Isolation valve is set to open. The APU is being taken offline because we switched the buses to the engines, and that means we don't need to bleed anymore. Our altitude auto here for cabin pressure is 32,000 feet. Our landing altitude, by the way, doesn't have to be in here yet. I think I'll wait before I set it. It's going to be, you know what, we're here. Let's go ahead and just have it in there. No, we don't. We're going to leave it off for now. I'll be revisiting this shortly. Okay. Let's go back to our checklist. Before taxi, generators we're on generator 1 and 2 now. Probe heat. We don't need wing ice, and we don't need engine ice. Pack switches are to auto. Isolation valve is to auto. Let's put that auto. I just have it on right now.
They're running the space really well.
There. That is set to auto. APU bleed is off. APU switch is off. Switches are to continuous. Engine start levers. Ground equipment is cleared. Flap lever. Set takeoff flaps will be set to 5.
Citation 0 Echo Zulu, read back, correct. Evening, Sanford, ground, citation 500 Zulu, with Juliet, at Millionaire, taxi at 9 left. Sanford ground, citation 0 Zulu, Millionaire, taxi.
If you ever wonder what your flap setting is in 737, all you gotta do is look right next to anti-skid and set. Okay. So flap lever is set. Flight controls are set. Set. Okay. Right. Now this may sound kind of elementary, but if you're going to runway 27, you want to be sure you go to runway 27. So we're going to 27 center. I'm verifying it here on my map.
Why does the chip pass like that? You got 3 on you.
I got 27 right.
Oh, he's trying to do the bug. He's trying to do the bug they're talking about that they patched.
Really not comfortable going off on 27 center.
He was trying to get back faster to do
It's a much shorter runway. I'm not really comfortable with that. Let's check it out. We have a way to confirm whether it's okay or not. We're going to go to our hold on. Our performance takeoff. I'm going to put in runway 27. Actually, it's already set. I know it sounds crazy, but it is. Okay. Wait, that's not right. 4.5. Oh, that's my. Wait, that is 28.3. And our takeoff weight is 153.8. Is that right? Okay. Are we still good? Millie, I'm trying to run the numbers for runway 27 center at KSFB, Orlando Sanford International. Is that runway long enough for us?
Runway 27C at Orlando Sanford International is 11,002 feet long, which is more than sufficient for our aircraft. You should have no issues with performance calculations for takeoff.
Okay, so it's an optical illusion because I'm looking at a runway That doesn't look that long. Okay. Okay. All right. Brian, can you get our taxi clearance?
I'll get our taxi clearance. Allegiant 220 ready to taxi. We have information November.
Allegiant 220, taxi to runway 27 center via Charlie Romeo, cross runway 27 center, then Bravo, cross runway 18, then Bravo 7 Charlie.
Runway 27 center. Charlie Romeo cross 27 center, then Bravo cross 18, then Bravo 7 Charlie. Allegiant 220.
It doesn't work, I swear.
I'm telling you, that runway, it doesn't look that long. Does it? You see what I don't know, from your perspective, I guess I'm not showing you the map, but it does not look that long.
Every single one of them was clumped around y'all. Like, it was 4v4, y'all all clumped together. It's a lot harder to cherry pick in this mode, and I kind of like it. Yes.
Brian, we're ready for our takeoff clearance.
I'll get our takeoff clearance.
I wait.
All aircraft information November is now current. Altimeter 3016.
Back out wing. Or just take it.
All right, I've got one last thing to do before we take off. Go to the checklist and just this is our takeoff checklist. So our departure runway is correct. We have entered the runway. Our strobe lights are active. Other lights are on. Transponder is set for TCAS. Fixed landing lights are on. Thrust levers. We're gonna do okay. Toga. All right, we're good here.
You know, I deserve that one. Honestly, I
We're not
deserve
leaving that
one.
there. Okay.
I deserve that one, honestly.
Get my view like I like it. Okay, I haven't got my feet on the brakes right now. I'm hitting my MSD now, Toga. A little forward pressure on the yoke. Release brakes.
runway 27 center, ready for takeoff.
Allegiant 220, Sanford Tower, runway 27C, winds 180 at 6. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 27 Charlie, runway heading, cleared for takeoff. Allegiant 220.
Rotate. Positive rate.
Any questions about that runway being too short? That is the last time we're doing that one.
Allegiant 220, contact departure on 119.775.
Switching to departure on 119.775, Allegiant 220.
Autopilot's engaged. We're never going off of that runway again in a 737.
Orlando departure, Allegiant 220. Evening, we're climbing past 1,000.
Allegiant 220, Orlando departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 180.
Climb and maintain flight level 180. Allegiant 220.
Orlando approach, Papa 123 Orlando approach, roger. Altimeter 3015.
Allegiant 220, climb and maintain flight level 210.
Climb and maintain flight level 210. Allegiant 220.
I have VNAV and LNAV. Wait, I don't have VNAV active. I have flown. Okay, it's a good learning lesson. I have flown in an Airbus for so long that when I hit LNAV, the LNAV there, I'm thinking the way that the LNAV and VNAV are situated, totally different on an Airbus, and that right there is why you don't switch back and forth without someone who knows what they're doing. Okay. Oh, crud. So the reason we were getting airspeed warnings is VNAV was not active. And it was confused, and I'm the one who caused the confusion. So, fools and children. God watches after fools and children. Okay. Right, we're at 7,000, climbing right now to 180, but we're going to get another bump here in a minute on that, what we can fly to, and we will eventually get to 2320.
Climb and maintain flight level 260.
Climb and maintain flight level 260. Allegiant 220.
260.
Columbia 1 Lima Charlie. Proceed direct to the gate. Clear for the ILS runway 7 left approach. Direct gate. Cleared for the ILS 7 left approach. For 5 1 Lima Charlie.
I'm going to get the lights down in the cabin.
Daytona Beach Tower 120.7. Opener Tower 120.7.
We're going to go to cruise and medium.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign will be switched off shortly. However,
This this flight should go rather quickly. We're, I think I'm trying to think what our distance is. We're only 388 miles from Asheville, so we're not far. That's the only thing I hate about the trim wheels being there, is if you go to move your mouse around there or hit scroll, you can knock that off. Alright.
Allegiant 220, climb and maintain flight level 300.
Climb and maintain flight level 300. Allegiant 220.
And we're going to check weather here. We should, like, we're driving, we're flying away from the bad weather right now, so that's good. I was late on turning the landing lights off, so I'll get dinged for that. And we're gonna go ahead and put the engines to normal instead of continuous. I'm gonna go ahead and put my anti-skid on 2. That's for landing, because I can go ahead and do it early, since we're only 370 miles out. Alright. We're going to go on the assumption of runway 35, okay? So that means we're going to go to init ref, excuse me, departure arrivals. We're going to go to KAVL arrival, runway ILS 35. I'm going to add that in.
Allegiant 220, climb and maintain flight level 320.
Climb and maintain flight level 320. Allegiant 220.
Right, we're going to do freeze for our arrival. Now we can go to init ref, and we see that our frequency.
Allegiant 220, contact Jacksonville Center on 135.45.
Contacting Jacksonville Center on 135.45. Allegiant 220.
Frequency is 110.50, and we're going to be coming in on a course of 3.
I didn't realize that.
True, it says true 35.
Jacksonville Center, Allegiant 220, evening, climbing through flight level 200 for flight level 320.
Allegiant 220, Jacksonville Center, good evening.
Okay. We're going, no, what did we say? We're going to say 110. Oh, actually 347. My fault. My fault. It's a little off there. 347. 110.50. Alright, 110.50. 110.50. I needed to set my altimeter to standard. I've been focused down there. Missed it. Also, it looks like we're going to be going in on a 40 flaps at 144 knots is what I prefer to do. And we're going to be landing on a runway that's 8,000 feet long. Okay. Cannot beat this Zibo. It's been around for a while. It's nice air. It's a nice airplane, even to fly in. I think I've taken one trip to Comayagua in it. I've flown the 737s a lot, but the Comayagua was my favorite. Until I realized there's no ALS. It's all RNAV. I'll be going in there in October. There's another airport in Honduras they don't allow international flights to go into anymore. It's called Tegucigalpa. If you've ever flown into Tegucigalpa, then you would have experienced the applause after you land. And I'm serious. Every single time you land, everyone applauds. What airport's that? I am not sure. Right, we're at 280 now. We're not far from our cruise altitude. And we will give our passengers a break and let them get out of their seatbelts.
Oh, I must be smart. No, I'm not smart leader. Is it like, am I the captain right now? Oh, are you talking about the...
I'm not positive what airport that is. We'll find out. Thousand ago.
What I feel like I should have touched the...
I still don't know. I'm looking on the map, looking at our course, and I don't know what airport that is. I don't think it's Jackson. It's not Jacksonville. This is too far out.
I should have...
I never turn the probes on my checklist. Not good. I don't think it's impacted anything currently, but this should be on. I need to generate that heat. Okay. We're gonna do seatbelt sign off.
Well, folks, for an initial cruise altitude now, it should be a relatively smooth flight. Seatbelt sign is off. Please only move around the cabin when that sign is off. And anytime you're in your seat, I do request you have your seatbelt fastened about you regardless of the seatbelt sign. Moving up cabin a little closer. Meanwhile, please sit back, relax, enjoy the trip with us.
Checking, it let me open the cabin door from back there, but it got unlocked. It's on auto, and then there's deny, but it won't stay on deny. If I try to move it over there, not sure why it does that. Let's go ahead and do our preliminary for descent winds. So forecast, we're going to request our descent winds. Awesome. And 30.19 is the altimeter. I didn't do that right. I need to back up. Put this in front of it. 30.9. Okay. So descent winds are in. That's good. That'll help us. We are, it says here we're 210 nautical miles from top of descent. It's good to know. And we need to know our elevation. And our elevation is 2,164 feet. And where does that go? Right here. 2,164. We can't really get it all the way to 64, so we can get 50. So we'll put that in for our landing altitude. You never, don't miss that, ever, ever. And we're 288 miles outside. And this should be a straight in approach. Allegiant 220, can we anticipate or expect runway 35 for our arrival?
Allegiant 220, affirmative. Expect runway 35 for your arrival at Asheville.
Runway 35, Allegiant 220. Okay, so The only transition we do coming on a freeze arrival is when we get to freeze, and as we're descending, we'll kind of move to the right to make a right 45-degree turn, and then come back 45 degrees to line up with the runway. That takes us right onto the runway.
Legion 220 descent coming up in about 20 minutes. Reach out if you want an early start.
I have to do it in the box right now. I have to do it in the goalie box right now.
Descent coming up in about 20 minutes, and to reach out to you if you want an early start. Thank you, Allegiant 220.
Allegiant 220, when you're ready to begin your descent, descend and maintain flight level 220.
Descending and maintaining flight level 220, Allegiant 220.
Slow descent to 220 right now, and I'm really good with that. That gives us some flexibility. I know I don't want to go too low, especially in the mountains. You don't want to descend too far, but I do like getting in a better position. So I'll take 220. I remember one flight I had over on the west coast. I was probably somewhere around Nevada, coming out of Nevada, but nighttime flight, place I've never been before, and I'm descending for arrival at an airport I'm not familiar with, and I descend right into a mountain. Couldn't see it. Couldn't see anything until the warnings, the ground warnings. By the time they came up, it was too late, and that was in an earlier time. And when I first started trying to learn how to fly on the commercial side at night, preventable now. And because it's a flight sim, you get a second life, so I'm good with that.
I jumped. What? I literally jumped. No, I should have the block. I literally jumped. Like it was, or hit the jump button before I jumped. Well, I'm sorry, that was in there that when you bought it. Very useful device.
I accidentally I hit the 4 key, and that put my flaps up. I didn't mean to do that. I want them armed, but I don't want them on. I didn't want my flaps half on. I haven't used that key in so long. That's why I had to go back to the back and see if I saw anything out of the ordinary, and I did. I saw the flaps up on the wing. Not flaps, speed brakes. We are 227 miles outside of our destination. One thing about night flights, it gives you nothing to look at up there. Darkness. What's that? I still think one of the biggest challenges is of flying is navigating. Remember 3 rules: aviate, navigate, communicate. We're almost to 220, and when we do, we get our leveled out at 220. Is when I will set the altitude back down to 4,000 and let VNav manage the descent as we go down. For the record, we've only been in the air for 31 minutes. We would have spent more time on like the initial pre-flight, and add in climb and descent than anything else. That's it. Good flight though. Yeah. recap so far. The most hazardous part of the flight was the takeoff. Runway was too short. It says that runway was 11,000. I need to go back and study and see if I'm doing something wrong. I thought I saw the start of the runway and it looked like it was clearly marked. And I'm second guessing now if there's more to that runway. That's 27 center at Sanford. Let's pull it up.
How's we go?
No, that runway is not long enough. Let me see. Millie lied to me. 27 center is 3,578 feet. That is not okay. 27 right is 11,000 feet. But that's not what I was told to take off on. 27 center is only 3,500 feet. Which is why it's Captain Beware. Or the captain's responsibility. It still sits on me. I don't care what Millie told me. I should have checked it. Here I'm talking about Millie like she's real. She's AI. Millie, give me the dimensions or statistics on Sanford, Orlando Airport, runway 27 center.
Runway 27C at Orlando Sanford International is 11,002 feet long and 150 feet wide. That's plenty of space for our aircraft, so you should have no issues with takeoff or landing performance.
Millie, are you sure? Because 27 center on my chart says 3,500 feet.
Runway 27C at Orlando Sanford International is indeed 11,002 feet long, which is sufficient for our aircraft. The 3,500 feet you see might refer to a different runway or a specific segment of the approach. Always double check your charts for the most accurate information.
Well, she's not backing down. You're killing me. I still think she's wrong. I think the chart says different feet, but if I get 27 center again, I'm going to request a different takeoff runway.
Allegiant 220, contact Atlanta Center on 127.9 or 5.
Contacting Atlanta Center on 127.9 or 5. Allegiant 220. Atlanta Center, Allegiant 220 evening, maintaining flight level 220.
Allegiant 220, Atlanta Center, good evening.
Altimeter's 3019.
American 2627 descends via the Banker 5 arrival. Descends via the Banker 5 arrival. American 2627 negative, you are not the Banker. Descend via the Banker 5 arrival. Descend via the Banker 5 arrival.
Let's go ahead and reset for 4,000. I think we're in a good position at 220 to once we hit, I think Plier is when we start. We can go ahead and maybe descend down in preparation for freeze. We've got 64 nautical miles to get there though. We got a ways.
Contact
So I'm really trying to hold out. I don't want to start this descent until we go about another 37 miles.
Good afternoon, United 627, climbing through 343, climb flight level 360.
Allegiant 220, Atlanta Center, descend and maintain 13,000. Altimeter 30.04.
Descend and maintain 13,000, altimeter 3004, Allegiant 220.
I like how he's working with us to get us down. I don't mind that. We're switching back from standard to regular. Okay. Altimeter 3004 is what he said. We'll double check that in a minute. We are 102 miles outside of Asheville. We're probably passing over Charlotte area. Are we there yet? But we're not far. We're not far. I'm liking this rate of descent. This is perfect. We're at 160, descending down to 130. By that time, we'll be probably about 65, 70 miles outside. Alright, hold on 1 second. Alright, we're still
1,000 to go.
We're about to level out at 130, about 75 miles outside of Asheville. And let's see, let's check out our
220, contact Asheville approach on 125.8.
Switching to Asheville approach on 125.8. Allegiant 220. Asheville approach, Allegiant 220 evening, maintaining 13,000 feet.
Allegiant 220, Asheville approach. Good evening, Asheville, altimeter 30.06. Expect the visual runway 35 approach into Asheville.
Altimeter 3006. Expecting the visual for runway 35 into Asheville. Allegiant 220.
Allegiant 220, descend and maintain 4,000.
Descend and maintain 4,000, Allegiant 220.
And we're closing in on 10,000, and we'll be lighting up our landing lights and our approach lights, taxi lights, Christmas lights, whatever. Says it's telling me on VREF at 5. Of course, I haven't put my weight in yet. Give it 1. VREF's going to be 147 knots. Okay. I'll take it.
220, turn left heading 345 vectors for the visual runway 35 approach.
Left heading 345 for the visual runway 35 approach. Allegiant 220.
Allegiant 255 at 6,000. Climb maintain flight level 220. Turn left heading 100 vectors to Sugar, G, then on navigation. Allegiant 255.
Allegiant 255, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Alright, so ATC is going to be vectoring us in for our final approach. We'll see what it does, because it seemed like it was really simple just to follow the flight plan, but let's see what ATC does. Our anti-skid is set to 3 on our brakes. We're going to be going in with a 40 flaps 40 and with a VREF of 147. We're at 5 flaps.
Turn right heading 015 vector. Then on navigation 80 Bravo.
Sierra Bravo, climb and maintain 7,000.
We've just gone to 1-5 flaps.
20, turn right heading 020.
Right heading 020. Allegiant 220.
Alright, we're at 6,000 feet. Still descending. Alright, our flaps are fully extended.
Allegiant 220, turn left, heading 005.
Turning left, heading 005. Allegiant 220.
How much you want to bet he's going to put us on 005 or close?
Allegiant 220, turn left, heading 360.
Turning left, heading 360. Allegiant 220.
Allegiant 220, 10 miles from the approach turn. Turn left heading 360 until established. Cleared for the visual runway 35 approach.
Turning left, heading 360 until established. Cleared for the visual runway 35 approach. Allegiant 220.
All right, we're good. We're fully extended flaps. We are about to hit our arrival at Freeze, and we'll go to Nauru and be lined up for runway 35. We are activating our approach.
Allegiant 220, contact Asheville Tower on 121.1.
Switching to Asheville Tower on 121.1. Allegiant 220.
And gears coming down.
Asheville Tower, Allegiant 220. Evening. We're established on the visual approach for runway 35.
220, Asheville Tower, winds calm. Runway 35, cleared to land.
Runway 35, cleared to land. Allegiant 220.
We should capture right at the waypoint. But just in case, I'm going to leave that there.
Thousand feet, stabilized, Mr. Bridge, altitude 7.
I may have to fly it in. It looks like I'm not going to capture. Two things I can do. I could go around, or I can fly it in.
Allegiant 220, welcome to Asheville. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Switching to ground on 121.9er. Allegiant 220.
I never captured on that. I had to, eventually I had to just fly it in, literally.
Asheville ground, Allegiant 220. Evening, we're clear of runway 35 and ready to taxi to the gate.
Allegiant 220, Asheville ground, taxi to 19 via Alpha 8 Alpha Delta. Have a good day.
Runway 19 via Alpha 8 Alpha Delta, Allegiant 220.
Flaps up. Auto brake off. if I wasn't confident in the braking and the reversers, I should have done a go around on that. Should have. It would have been more. It would have been safer just to do a go around. All right, brake on. External power.
Asheville Tower, 72 Kilo Hotel, holding short, runway 17.
Prepare for arrival and cross-check, thank you.
All right, my landing wasn't up. is I was concerned about that, but we still did a 313 feet per minute landing. But that's because I just say I ballooned for a longer distance to get down to the right altitude. So I'll take it. We'll go watch it one time. See where I came in very high. And to give you an idea, and I think that's going to conclude this flight. We got here safe. And live and learn. We'll see you on the next one.